Isn't that cool? We got to put the camera in the thingy. Hey guys, welcome. Viewer limit. What? What do you mean viewer limit? What is that? It's a weird thing that popped up on my screen. All right, so I'm going to clamp you guys down. There we go. I think the chat is working. Live chat. See that? Hey guys, welcome to the lighter side of RC After Dark. If you guys are hearing me, let me know. Guys are hearing me. Turn that down. Oh, there we go. I got you. And we got you guys on the TV too. This is cool. Katie's not with us tonight for a little bit. She'll be back. She's coaching volleyball right now. Hey guys, so I've got the comments up on the screen as well, so we'll be able to see the comments up there, which is super cool. We got a bunch of things to talk about in advance. Audio's good, beautiful. Give me a second, I'm just going to grab my notes in my chair. So that's for Katie when she comes. We got our notes here. Need my stool. There we go. All right. Whoa, Tord's in the therapy room. This is cool. I like being able to see the comments up there. That's awesome. Thank you guys. Hey Stacy, I'm assuming you made it home safe and sound. Stacy came to visit the shop earlier today to see that massive plane that Ward's hiding right now. Nice. No, this is the Skymaster wing. So I got to stop watching that because I'm just going to get sucked into your guys' comments. All right, so got to focus on what we're talking about. So Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to 2024. We got lots of cool stuff happening in the shop. We did our last live December 23rd, so just before Christmas. So a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks. It's been pretty crazy. We've got so many new planes in the shop and so many new planes coming. It's pretty nuts. So hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. Rob, Nick, trustee number 5, I like it. It's been super cool getting the pictures from everybody either on Facebook or email or text message or whatever messenger of trustees all over the world. That's been really cool. Stacy says hi, Ward.
Hi, Stacy.
It's been pretty awesome seeing all that stuff, so thank you guys for those pictures. Yeah, so in the past 2 weeks, we have gotten the F14 XL, which is right there. When you guys see the 14 XL unboxing, it's bananas. It is, and we'll take a look at it. And thank you guys. This is one of the benefits of coming on the live chat is you get to see stuff like this. But it is bananas how big that plane is. I don't think David, the owner, has an idea how huge that plane is. And you'll see it in the video, the unboxing video. It is so crazy how big it is. So we got the F14 XL. We got a Skymaster A10 Black Snakes edition. So that's the wings right here. And we've got the fuselage back there. So I've been working hard on the Black Snake A10. And we have been pushing away or pushing on that this week. I think it'll be done maybe by tomorrow, maybe kind of a couple days into next week, but we're making wicked progress. It helps to have been through this process a couple times with an A10. So it should be a pretty quick build for the rest of it. Super cool. So that's one of the two. Oh, we also have behind you guys, there's the, I'll show you later, but there's the F16, and that is in the Israel Air Force scheme, I think is what it's called. Super cool plane. So that's one of the planes we are putting Sweewind 400 in. So that's the Sweewind 400 we just got yesterday, and or Thursday, sorry. My days are mixed up. It's already Saturday, isn't it? And yeah, so we're putting a 400 in that plane. Yes, it's way too much. Oh, hey, Stacy, I wonder whose Spitfire that is on the wall. It must be yours. So yeah, that's been the new projects that have shown up. We've also got a Rebel Hot, which is hidden by the F14 because the F14 pretty much hides everything. The Rebel Hot will be coming up as well. That's another build on the list. And tons of stuff. So Hornet Flyer, you asked if we're doing any weathering on the A10. Because it's the Black Snake scheme, we're going to leave it the way it is. So it's kind of that show scheme and stuff. Any weathering on it, because it's so dark, and we'll take a look at this too, it's a lot darker scheme than the one that we painted on the channel. So the one that we painted on the channel was like, I don't have an example, it's like standard military gray almost, a little bit darker. This A10 is way darker. So the gray is way darker. The black is like a shade or two lighter than a standard black. So anyways, that's what's happening with that. So last live, I asked you guys if you have any questions you want brought up on the live stream to email them to me. We got a couple questions emailed, and yeah, so this first one, I don't really know how to say this, but it's Piotr. I'm assuming it's like Piotr maybe, but he's obviously overseas. His question was, thanks, Jonathan. I've watched you live and wonder if I can ask you a live question down below. As I've mentioned, I am waiting for my 60cc Warbird and equipment to ship to me, and after watching your videos, and we've emailed a bunch of times back and forth, I wonder if I want to focus on doing things the proper way. So the question is, do you have or can tell a couple things or tips that are critical to follow on every build, besides the stuff that I always bring up? So that's centering servo arms, using Loctite, things like that. So I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks. And basically, I put a couple notes here together on this question. So essentially, Peter was asking, what are some important things you can do during any build? Doesn't matter what it is. So one of the first points I put out here on the paper was plan out in paper maybe a layout of where everything's going. So when I'm doing an aircraft build like the A10 as an example that we're working on this week. So the fuselage is way over there, wings are right here. Because we've done this plane before a couple times, I have basically an exact knowledge of where all the systems are going. And this particular A10, I've done some things a little bit different, and we're going to do a condensed build version of this aircraft. So we will be doing a build series on this aircraft, but it's going to be like an overview build. So it might be like 3 videos kind of thing. But one of the things I did was move the compressor forward so we can eliminate the nose weight. So the compressor is right in the nose, but having a system planned out in advance really helps with everything. So one of the big things it helps with is wiring, as an example. So I'm going to take you guys over here to answer the question better. And I'm just going to keep the camera this direction, so maybe if you can hold that word. Yeah, I'll just kind of, yeah, right there. So this A10, I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. Just give me a second. But this A10, because we know exactly where everything's going and how everything's being run and everything, like here's our wire bundle from the back, right? So this is all of the stuff coming from the back end of the plane. We've got our on-off valves, we've got our light here, we've got a light at the back, we've got our GSUs or our ECUs here. All of that stuff is dealt with already and laid out. I've got all my ends mounted on the wiring ends. They're all marked already because I know exactly where everything's going in the front portion of this aircraft. So when you have everything laid out like that and you have a good knowledge and a clear path, that would be something that I would say is very helpful with any assembly. I'm just going to put you guys back on my garbage can. That's where you're being sat right now. And then the other things that I wrote down here was have systems for doing things. This helps when you do more builds. I mean, if you do like we do here, 20, 30 builds a year. You know, and Ward can attest to this because he's been working here for helping out in the shop, learning for quite a while now. He knows I've got systems for things, and that's one of the learning things being here in the shop is we do things a certain way, and it pretty much flows with any aircraft, right? So it's pretty much the norm for anything. You know, we always put shrink tube on our connectors. We always do things a certain way. So having those systems is helpful. Obviously, if you're building one aircraft for yourself a year, that's a bit of a different story. But having those systems is helpful. Consistency, that's another one as well too. So consistency is important. As an example, I wrote down, I can't show you this because I already put the tanks away, but like when I tie wire an end, I always fold the tie wire over the same direction. That's just the way I always do things. So that consistency, when I look at something, and there's a bit of a hidden reason I do that, but if somebody was to send me a picture of a plane that I built and said, hey, my fuel system's not working, they shoot me a picture, I can see that the tie wire is not bent the proper direction that I always bend it. I know that it's not my tie wire, it's not my line, it's not my connection, somebody else has messed with it. So that's one of the reasons. So that was the question that came in.
Also, if you're, like I say, you also put things that where you're going to use them, like for instance, like the service for the wings. You bring them all out and you put them in where you're going to work. Yeah. You always bring the stuff that you're working with or that you're going to work up and handy and in place where you're going to put them, so that there's no mess up.
Exactly.
Mistakes.
Yeah, I'm just putting the comments back on because I don't know if it's on or not. There we go. Oh, there we go. There. All right, guys. So, comments. Let's see here. Look, who's everybody? Look at all these people on there. 62 of you on already. Holy mackerel. David, you snuck away. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, so if you guys have any questions, we can see your questions up on the TV, so ask away. Katie will...
It's not moving the questions.
Yeah, that's the last comment. It's all good. Yeah. It's working.
Okay.
See?
And also, I'll tell you, you've missed a question, ask it again so that you can see it. Sometimes you questions that you don't get to it.
We need to get Ward a mic. Yes, we do. We got a mic here for Ward. Here you go. Ward.
Oh. You're making me part of the team.
There you are. Now you should be able to hear Ward. Yeah, if you guys have asked a question during this initial part, ask it again and we can see it. Yeah, so lots of cool things happening here in the shop. Let's take a maybe a look at some of the massive projects. Let's take a look at this stuff. I'm going to show you guys the F14 XL because this thing is crazy. It's so crazy. I'm going to put you on the bandsaw. I think that'll work. Sorry if you're all bumpy right now. That's the way it goes sometimes. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Look how big that thing is.
You want me to hold it?
Nope. Crazy, eh? All right. So, just for some perspective, here is the F14 XL. It is nuts. During the unboxing video, we had the camera kind of up high and we actually had the plane on its gear and on the ground with the wings on and everything. It is bonkers how big this thing is. So crazy, so crazy. Hey Klaus, how are you? Yeah, it's mind-blowing how crazy it is. So it's really looking forward to this aircraft and this build. So that's been one that we unboxed this past week, which has been tons of fun.
These planes are getting big enough that I can fly in them.
Yeah. So we've already taken a look at this one, but the A10 in the black snake scheme, yeah, the F14 is nuts. It's so crazy. So the black snake scheme A10. So the one that I did previously, the gray is a lot like the standard US Navy type gray. It was a little bit darker, so just like maybe a couple shades darker. That was more scale. than this one from SkyMaster, but this one from SkyMaster is just badass looking. Like that thing is so cool. Looks amazing. So we've done a ton on this aircraft already. The back end's all done. The tail section's over there by where we were sitting before. Engines are all installed. The whole back end's done. Wings are getting done yesterday and today. Yeah, the F-22 I think is bigger, but we have some sad news on the F-22. Let me put you back on the garbage can and I'll share that news with you. There we go. It's kind of different, a little bit different perspective, eh?
Yeah.
I don't mind it. So the F-22 is, the F-22 is, I think, a little bit bigger, similar size to this. We have opted out of the F-22 project from Wind RC. So thank you, Jerry. I'm glad you enjoyed the video today, the weathering video. I appreciate that. Yeah, everything looks small compared to that F-14. Like there's an Su-30 that we finished on the other side or is almost done. It looks like a little toy now compared to that F-14.
That's
it's crazy.
when we were raving about the size of it. It's huge. Oh, it's too big.
It still is a big plane.
Yeah.
It is a big plane. But I'll show you after. It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, the F-22, we've opted out of the Wind RC project. So the little history behind that is we put a deposit down on aircraft number 1 from Wind RC, and they've now had 3 prototype aircraft that have all failed. This last one was much lighter than their previous versions, but they had a failure in flight of the rear section. I didn't see the video. It was during holidays and I was still sleeping when they came on, but yeah, it was a failure of the structure. So basically we have backed out of that and asked for our money back, which is part of the contract. So that's as much detail as I'll give you. But yeah, so the F-22 is no longer, but we do have some other cool projects. We've already got some planes coming in for 2024-2025 season. So we have the F14 from SkyMaster, the huge monster, which is like same size as the F14. We've got the F4. There you go, Ward. We've got the F4 from CARF. We've got one of those in the queue as well. Yes, Nick, you're absolutely correct. We will need a bigger shed for sure. It's not really a bummer, honestly. I mean, I was supportive of Wind RC, but I'm very skeptical now of until I see something that is structurally sound and they've flown successfully multiple times, I'm just not confident in continuing with that project. So yes, it's a bit of a bummer, kind of sucks because we were looking forward to it. It may happen in the future, we'll see what happens, but yeah, we've backed out of that for now. So the aircraft up there with the number 3 on it, it's a private, kind of a top secret type thing, so I can't talk about it very much. That's as much as I can give you guys is the view in the background. Yep. So that's it. I can't answer any questions on that aircraft, unfortunately. So, but good eyes, good eyes. Hey Ryan, nice to see ya. Yeah, there is Hornet Flyer. Yes, there are lacking a lot of F-22 choices. I love the F-22. That was my second plane I ever owned, was the Jet Legend F-22. And it was a cool plane. I loved it. Yeah, so. Jerry said, being first is always a risk. Yes, it is, absolutely. If they would have built a successful prototype and it would have went well, we would have had one here, everything would have gone good, but unfortunately they're well over the contracted time period, so we just have to back out of it. So is the F14 the 136 in length? Let's measure. Well, as we have the Technology. And if you want it in metric, we can even give it to you in metric. Just tack on
2 feet?
No, the nose cone's only this long, so tack on a foot for the nose cone. And the stinger is pretty much the longest point. So this guy is, you good?
Yep.
135 inches or 3.430 meters. And I guess in feet that is 135 inches. So that's 11 feet, 3 inches long. It's a big plane.
You can throw it in the back of your Toyota.
Yeah. Yeah, the T1 F22 is definitely nice. We wanted something that was brand new that nobody else has. So, nice. You're welcome, Waz. Turbines for the F14, we're waiting. They are going to be, Zykoi, Chikoi 240s. Yeah. We're actually waiting for quite a few Zykoi turbines. So we're waiting for 2 240s for the SU, 2 240s for the F14. The F16, we're putting a Sweewind 400 in it. What else? A 195 for the Super Bandit. Another 240, I think, for the Elite Aerosports Razor. Oh, we got a Razor coming as well. The Elite Aerosports Razor, that's on order. Not for me. I wish it was mine, but it's not. Put it on the Toyota and use the jet power to get to the field. Absolutely. Just bring your jerry cans because that would be not fuel efficient at all.
No.
Not fuel efficient at all. All right, guys. So let's take a look at our F-16. I haven't looked at that yet. So there is our F-16. So that is the 1/5 scale from Skymaster. That's the 1/5 scale. Colin asked, what is the purpose of the 400 on the 16? The purpose is, it's fun, I guess.
Nuts.
No, so it's that plane is going to Coco. That's going to be Coco's plane. He's a phenomenal pilot, and I mean, some people would ask, what's the purpose of the 300 on the BVM 1/5 scale? Well, they fly better with lots of power, and the owners had this plane before with a 250 in there, I think, and he put a Sweewind 300 in his previous one, and it was transformational for that plane. So this one has a 300 in it, as you saw during the build. That one's going to have a 400 in it, and obviously it's not one of those things that you're you're not flying around at full throttle because you're going to rip the wings off. But yeah, that's a good answer, Nick, because you can. It fits. We're just getting a new pipe for it, so waiting for Joe Tamaz to make us a pipe. So yeah, it's a cool scheme. You don't see it very often. It's pretty unique. It's going to be a fun plane to put together.
Might have to reinforce the wings in order to keep them on.
It's built pretty well. I mean, it's typical Skymaster stuff. I cover this during the unboxing, but yeah, as Joe said, like that's why they have a throttle, right? So, Joseph, I'll answer your question in a second here. Yeah, so with something like the F-16, yeah, you're going to be off the throttle a ton, but when you want to come in and do that really slow pass, over the runway, Harrier type stuff, that's when the 400 is really beneficial. So have I had too much power in a plane? Yes. Depends on what you want to fly it for though too. So when I had a 170 in my Ultra Flash, it was fun, but I honestly didn't enjoy it. Now part of that reason is I was starting to enjoy more slower aerobatic type flight, and that wasn't the plane for me, so we ended up selling it. And so that's been one of the cases where it's had too much power. The other one was my kinetics over there, right? You guys remember the kinetics from this past year. So just trying to get this camera organized. I can't wait till Katie shows up. So yeah, look at how crooked that thing is. With the, no, we're not crooked.
We're drunk here.
With the kinetics, I had a 240 initially, and it was fine. It was fun, but basically now it's got a Swewin 190 in there, and it's awesome. I love it. I actually had the most fun flying that plane when we went out flying. I think the last time I flew it this year, we had a flying day on November 15th, I think. And I had the kinetics out, or it might have been the Super Elan, one of the two. Yeah. But I had him flying near the end of the season there, so it was awesome. I loved it way more with the 190 in there. I think the reason primarily was with the 190, I was more in the throttle band, so I was generally flying from like half stick to full stick. With the 240, I was a lot more off the throttle. And usually when you're more off the throttle, it's less responsive. So, let's see here, just going through there. Do you think the 400 might have a bit too much residual thrust? I don't think so on the F16. I think it'll be fine. I can't remember from the test video how much residual thrust or idle thrust it had. Yeah, I don't remember, but I think that'll be 30, fine.
I think.
No, it was a residual thrust, so at idle.
Oh, at idle. Oh, yeah.
Don't guess.
No.
Oh, Nez is partying with us. Don't you worry. She likes to sleep. There's Nez in her favorite spot.
My chair.
Nezzy. Yeah, she's out. She's out. Just gonna set you guys down. Give me a second. Sorry for the wiggles. All right, more of the questions. Oh, it is Nez hiding parts? Yeah, she has not stopped doing that. So, Tord said, speaking of pipes, got a new pipe for 1/6 F16, but the pipe is a little too long. Is it okay to trim the length at the single wall portion where the bell mouth mounts? Yes, absolutely, totally fine. Yeah, in that case, it really doesn't, it's not going to make any difference at all. The only thing is if you have like supports built into the pipe in certain locations, that may change it a little bit, but generally that doesn't affect anything. So 4.5 pounds of residual thrust, there you go. So I don't think on an aircraft that size, that's too much at all. So close. Is the Jetty software Mac OS compatible? Yes. I am a Mac guy, and the only reason I have my Surface laptop right there is it's a shop laptop, and a lot of the stuff that we use in RC Aviation is not Mac compatible. Jetty Studio is Mac compatible, and there's 75 people on the chat.
Wow.
That is crazy. Crazy.
That's great.
Joseph, your question, what's the most expensive jet you have ever had or have? Me personally or in the shop? That's my question to you.
Now, you personally, it's what?
I don't know. To think about that one. Oh, T-33. So I remember seeing somebody ask about the T-33.
Yeah, want to know about it.
Joseph, you got to answer your questions. T-33, Joe, and this cockpit. Oh my gosh! So this video is going to be you personally and in the shop. Okay, perfect. So we are so far ahead in videos right now. It's a little bit bonkers. I think I've got videos done now until the end of January. So you guys have to be you're seeing things tonight on this live chat that is way far ahead of time in the actual channel. But anyways, so in the next T-33 build, Joe delivers the cockpit, and that's video number 4. This has been put on the back burner now with our projects that we have in the queue, but he did such an amazing job. I want to flip this camera around and show you. Oh, we can. Look at that. You can do it well. So this thing is beautiful. Joe, I know you're on here. Thank you so much for doing this cockpit. So the only original part of this cockpit is the tub. So the plastic tub in the bottom and the frame, the wooden frame that's around here. Everything else Joe did from scratch. So it is beautiful. We printed all new dash panels and everything. This is our test fit canopy. I've got a brand new canopy for this. It is like glass. It is so amazing. Hey Chad, thanks for chiming in. Anyways, yeah, this turned out so nice. Thank you, Joe, for doing that. These guys are all printed in resin. The seats are all resin, like just amazing. Yeah, Joe did such a good job on this cockpit. I am so happy with this cockpit. It looks so good. Now that I know I can flip the camera around, I'll take you guys on a tour of the F14 here, but I'm gonna answer your question first, Joe. Or Joseph, sorry. So Joseph said, what's the most expensive plane, me personally and in the shop? So in the shop, it's basically the F14. This thing, just a rough calculation, like for us building it, I think it's coming out to maybe like, I don't know, 38,000, 40,000. I have no idea what it is. But that's definitely the most expensive plane we've had in the shop. The SU-30 is up there as well too. And then also the F14, the standard F14 that we had 2 years ago, that was up there as well too. When you get into the dual turbine planes and something this big, everything just scales up and gets so much more expensive. Me personally, my Diamond was an expensive build. I bought everything brand new for the Diamond. I think I priced it out and it was like 18,000 US for everything that I put in the Diamond. This T-33 is probably, when it's done, is actually going to be probably my most expensive plane. Like as a kit, this thing is like 6,500 US all the time, and I'm including my time in this one, so that's where it's a little bit different. The Diamond was just like straight parts, but this guy here is, you know, you've got like probably 140, 150 hours just for the build. And then that doesn't include paint and everything. So this is probably going to be the most expensive plane that I've ever owned when it's done. But it's beautiful. I love it. I think it's so cool. Stacy said 38 American dollars. Correct. Yes. And last thing I did in the other video was get the intake diverters installed. They're painted, but we have to repaint them. But that's what we're going to do on the finish for this aircraft. So it's going to be all like chrome colored. It's super cool. Let me just cycle through some more comments here, and then I'll take you guys on a tour of the F14. Have you ever flown jets with thrust vector, Michael said? I haven't personally. Not really my thing, but I'm sure we'll have one in the future. What else? Yeah, Nick, Joe did such an amazing job in that cockpit. Mailer asked, how do you manage the build time for the consumer planes or your own projects? I don't fully understand your question, but I do most of my projects as a lump sum pricing. So when somebody asks for me to build something, I don't generally do it on an hourly basis. I rather just give them a number so we're up front and everything's good to go. There are a few projects where I'll do it hourly, but it's not very common. I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah, Joe also did a cockpit for Chad's F15. It looks amazing. So 52 Canadian dollars. Yep, something like that. Awesome. Yeah, the T-33 is really a beautiful plane. It's going to be beautiful. This is the center tank for the the A10. So Dave recently dropped an angle grinder on a composite fuse. Oops. A little paint. Dave asked about shop oopsies.
Oh, we won't talk about that.
We won't talk about that.
No.
Oh, we have shop oopsies all the time. And there was one actually last weekend, but we won't talk about it.
We won't talk about it.
Because it might have been Ward's. Yeah, we have oopsies here. You just deal with it. It's pretty normal too. Like when you are doing, I'm going to flip this around and show you guys. Yeah, totally. 80 people on. That's crazy. So I do not speak French. If you're asking that, who asked that? Somebody asked that. Edwin asked that. No, I don't speak French. I speak a little bit of French in that I learned in elementary school, but that was it because we're forced to. I only speak English and a little bit of Spanish maybe. So yeah, like when you're doing a build like this, basically, you know, you're putting this plane together and you're pulling the flap out here and basically you're putting it back in and the little piece here contacts the fuselage. So now you have a white mark on your fuselage. So usually what I'll do is I will get 2 color matches done or some color matches done, and we'll just go through afterwards and touch up those kind of areas. You know, our exposed screws,
chips and
stuff
dings.
like that. Yeah, chips and dings. The wingtips here on the A10 are very fragile. So like these wingtips are insanely thin. Like there's me pressing on the tip very lightly. And, you know, we've got a bit of a ding right here just from it bending, so
And
totally normal.
Times we even accidentally drilled right through.
Yeah, that happens
mistake.
too. Exactly. Yeah. We drill through when you're drilling stuff. So yeah, the oopsies happen for sure, but you just fix them. All right, so here's a overview of the 14. Oh my gosh, this thing is so huge. So they've done a lot of things on this plane to work on lightening it. You can see the cockpit there. Is all drilled out on the sides. So super cool. Beautiful cockpit. One of the other things I really like about this cockpit, and I talk about this in the unboxing video, is, maybe I'll switch sides with you. You can see the 2 cockpits are different, right? So this is actually kind of more scale. Usually you don't see this. You'll see matching cockpits in a lot of planes, but we've got the, you know, if you think about the movie Maverick, you've got the navigator and the guy that sits in the back, and you've got the pilot in the front. So pretty cool to see the 2 different cockpits. I was impressed to see that. Oh, just leave that like that. Yeah, the gear on this thing is mental how big it is. So you can see there compared to my hand, it is so stout. Just awesome. Huge gear on this thing. And the thing that probably blew my mind the most was the actuating system. So again, like here's the motor system right there. It looks like a windshield wiper motor. It is so big. So the coolest thing I think on this one compared to the next size down that we built already, on the next size down there was an actuator right here, the Actuonics actuator, and that just pushed the wing out and in. So one point, this one here, there's actually a bell crank in the back, and when this actuates this side, that bell crank is turning this other rod, so it's actually supported on both sides. So you've got a support on the leading edge, trailing edge, so that's helping to push and pull at the same time. That should be absolutely bulletproof. So beautiful spot in here. It's just 2 huge tanks in this aircraft. So we've got the two tanks, and that's it. Flip that around. I need a drink. No, they didn't put the stops on the drag link things, but they did make the cylinder much better. So this actually is a way better system. And this is also spring loaded. So on the smaller one, you've got air on both sides of this. On this guy, you can see here, you can push this and close it, but I think there's a spring inside here because this helps to keep this linkage in place. And this is a better setup. I don't think we're going to have to put the stops on this guy. I think it's going to work perfectly the way it is. So that's nice to see. You just got to tie this line into the gear up system. So yeah, that's the F14. Basically, all of our electronics and everything are going to go right in this section right here. So nothing is going in the front of this plane. We're going to keep everything right here. That's going to have nice short runs to everything on the aircraft. The only line we're going to have coming forward is our battery lines and the one going to the nose, steering, servo, and we'll probably have a pitot tube up here in the gun as well. So yeah, an air restrictor on the downside will definitely help. And I think this gear is going to work a lot better than the smaller one. We won't have all the struggles that we had before. So that's the hope anyways.
Ryan wants to know if you're going to Maiden the F14. You don't.
Am I going to Maiden the F14? I don't Maiden. So this F14 is for our client named David. I'm just going to stand this thing up. Sorry guys, just getting things leveled out here. So this is David's F14. David's got a bit of a system that he does for his maiden flights. So Coco, who's the owner of the F-16 over there, that the Israeli Air Force F-16, he does David's maiden flights. So we'll be maidening this in Montana in June, Montana Jets, and Coco is going to be doing the maiden flight, which is pretty typical for all of David's stuff. So. Yes, close. The nice thing is David actually does all the programming in advance and just sends me the file. So a lot of the legwork's already done, and we can pretty much copy the smaller F-14 with this one. The only difference is that we've got, I think, 2 slat servos instead of just one like on the smaller F-14. So. That's why we've got blank models on our Jetty radios. So when for example, when I set up this A10 that we're working on now, I just copied the blank model. The blank model has a bunch of programming already in it, and a lot of the stuff is predefined and set up, so it was super simple. A blooper reel, no blooper reel for you. Joseph said you should build the Skymaster F-86. Always a cool looking plane. Drag link stops, no. If your customer wants to completely scale and in actual fact there are no pilot controls in the rear cockpit, no joystick, no rudder pedals, no throttles. I don't think there's a stick in there. Maybe there is. Ah yeah, there is a stick. So we should take the stick out. Have you seen Ali Machinchi set up his jets? He kind of hides all the electronics under. Yes, I have seen that. Don't know why. We did the same thing with the Rebel right there. It's completely hidden. Everything's hidden. I think it looks cool. We're doing the same thing with my Rebel, which is the red one right there. So that Rebel is getting built exactly the same as the Rebel up there. Mr. Bill, are there any BDXs coming? Well, there we go. BDX Kyle. Yes, we have a BDX coming along with a Razor from Elite Aerosports. Oh, here's the Rebel Hot right there. So that is fun. That's for Louis Cronus, who's sent us his Rebel Hot. Looking forward to putting that one together. What else do we got here? Yeah, the F-14 programming, it's the most complicated airplane to program out there. Part of the reason is you've got so much happening with the wings, and when the wings get swept back, all of that stuff changes. So it is definitely the most complicated to program aircraft. Hey Victor, thanks for tuning in. And this is not a sponsored episode for Monster, but I do like drinking them.
That's his lifeblood.
How many hours, David, to do programming? Different David. David Snyder, that's on the chat right now. He's not the owner of this F-14. But when we just copied the other programming, it was pretty simple. So what are we doing? Where do we leave off? Working on A10 wings. That's where we left off.
And don't forget, we still have that 18 up there.
Victor, I saw your L39 today. It looks super cool. I love that scheme. I saw your pictures and it looks great. So A10 wing, here we are. So we've got the speed brakes done. Thanks, Dave. We've got the ailerons done. We've got our pylon covering the ailerons done. Our flap install. The servos are all done and set up. That's all figured out. We haven't hooked the linkage up yet. We just put the flap covers on before we started the live and ran the wires to the root of the wing. So this flap is all ready to go. We just haven't installed it yet because we're going to do the gear next. So the reason we want to do the gear is because all the tubing and stuff comes under right here. When that's done, we want to get it all nice and mounted firm so it's not interfering with the flap. And then we'll get the flap servo installed. So next thing we're doing on this plane, my gosh, what time is it? Is Katie back yet? No, not yet, almost. Next thing we're doing on this plane is the wing, the gear. So
Stacy says, open up the Rebel.
We should open up the Rebel.
You want to open it up? Which one?
No, I think I want to unbox the Rebel on a video. No, I'm not opening up the Rebel. It's a cool scheme though. It's a custom scheme. You'll see it soon, Stacy. I'll send you some pictures. Too many Daves. Yes, there is too many Daves on here. Comparing the BVM and Skymaster F14, what kit do you think is the best? Ouch.
You can't pick favorites.
I know there's a lot of BVM fanboys. If I was to decide between those two planes, so let's just say that I was placing an order for either that plane or that plane. Which one would I buy? I would buy that plane. There's a few things that I think is better on the Skymaster aircraft. The BVM is nice. It comes very well put together. Now, David, your comment as well. I don't get anything from Skymaster. Zero from Skymaster. So my support of Skymaster all revolves around what my customers want built. That's it. No kickbacks from Skymaster, no sponsorships, no discounts, nothing from Skymaster. So, but I'll tell you what I like about the Skymaster F16 is, number one, the landing gear. The landing gear on any Skymaster plane is superior to any other gear out there. Skymaster does air oil legs or oleos, and that is leaps and bounds better than just having a spring in your gear. Way more control, way more adjustability. So that is number one thing that I like on it. Number two thing I like on it is, let me grab a part for you.
Yeah, you really like the gears. They seem to hold up better too.
Yeah. And no, this is not a wing for an aircraft. This is the horizontal stab for the F14 XL. So I'm using this as an example because this is one of those things that I really like on Skymaster surfaces. So they use a direct connection to the servo generally, and the receiver portion that goes in here is aluminum that is coated. So you've got bearings that go into that aluminum piece. I think that is a lot more durable over the long haul, and you can replace it. You just unbolt it, pull it out, put a new one in. So it's easy to replace, and I think a more accurate system than the BVM one. The BVM is a plastic receiver portion, so this portion would be plastic insert, not screwed in place, probably replaceable if you dug it out. And then the portion that goes inside here in the receiver is like an aluminum ball, which is cool, but I like the bearing idea inside an aluminum receiver better. So those are two of the reasons why I would say the Skymaster kits are superior. Price-wise, I think the Skymasters are maybe more expensive. I don't know. I don't price all the builds we do out. So let's see here.
Well, what do you like about the BVMs?
Just order one and join the belly button group. I know that was geared towards Stacy. When will the Bandit be back from paint? Good question. So the Bandit, as of last week, primer was done. I haven't got an update from him over the past couple days, but painting should be done very soon. So if Ward decides to drive out and pick it up,
oh, that's a slight hint.
then it'll be back here probably pretty soon. So should be here in a couple weeks. And then as soon as it's back here, we should have an engine for it and we can start working on the installation, which is cool. That thing's gonna be nuts. Now there is a time frame for the Super Bandit. We're going down to Tucson Jets, middle of March. So we need to have the Rebel with us. The Super Bandit needs to be done. What else? I think that's it. I'm bringing the Rebel, the Super Bandit, bringing my Rebel, and probably my Kinetics. I think I'm bringing those 4 planes to Tucson Jets. So, yeah, minus the Loctite. But I tell you, the Loctite thing, that's a generic thing between any manufacturer. No manufacturers put Loctite on their stuff. There's very few on certain like ready-to-fly builds, but, well, in Loctite, that brings up another point. When we put the BVM together, nothing had Loctite. We had to take all the servos out, everything out. Everything needed Loctite, but that's no different than Skymasters. So, let's see here. Edwin said, "Did your 3D printers become a game changer for your business?" No, Keith said, "No pressure, Ward."
Yeah, no pressure.
To answer your question about the 3D printers, yes and no. Yes, because I was able to do things that I needed like that. So, you know, like the labels on the front of the SU. I just made those labels up in about 30 minutes, changed my nozzle on my Bamboo printer to the 0.2 nozzle, printed them out, they're done. Joe from RC Custom 3D Printing, who still prints all of our stuff that we sell on our website and the wood stuff that we have, like the UAT holders. He does all that stuff for me, but he's a couple hours away from me, obviously, if I need something really quick. So the answer to that question, did it transform my business? Yes and no, it did. It's really handy to have. If I think of something, if I need something, if I want something, I can just print it off. Obviously, you have to design it, or if you can find a file for it, it's helpful. So, Brian, with the Skymaster stuff, you just stay with the air system. So what we've done is basically gone to putting a compressor on any large aircraft build that we do. Pretty much standard issue now. So all of the big Skymaster stuff all gets a compressor, an onboard compressor, and that really helps things a ton. I talked about this in the very beginning of this video, but there's the onboard compressor for the A10. Previous versions, I've run them back here in this area. In this one, we're putting it right at the front here. The goal there is we've got 4 LiPo batteries, which are going in this pocket right here. So this tray mounts in the front section. Our 4 batteries that power the entire aircraft go right here. And I think with this setup, the compressor in the front, they will use, I mean, we may need a little bit of nose weight, but the goal here is 0 nose weight. All right, I saw some more questions there on air stuff. Should make your view exciting here. There we go. Not that Ward's back's overly exciting. You're 3D printing a Mirage? Crazy.
Invited to fly someplace. I missed the question though.
Joseph said, BVM test their new jets in our flying club in DeLand, Florida. You should come to our coming event on February. A lot of jets, super cool. What pressure do they run at? It depends on the aircraft. Most of them we kind of shoot for about 100 PSI. Some planes like the Skymaster A10, you can run that at 80 PSI all day long and it runs perfect. So, but 80 to 100 is pretty typical for most of the Skymaster aircraft.
Yeah, somebody wants to know if you sell compressors and stuff like that.
We do. Yeah, email me for a compressor. I don't have them listed on my website because usually we bring in a bunch. They're actually really tough to get. Shipping is an absolute nightmare with them. But we do bring in compressors. Sometimes I have them on hand. A lot of times I don't have them on hand. But if you want one, email me and I can get you a price on it and see if I have stock on it. So I can also preset it up for you as well too. So if you're not a jetty flyer and you don't have a jetty box, I can pre-program the on-off, right? So if you want it to turn on at 80 PSI and turn off at 95, we can do that before it's set up, so, or sent out to you. Good planning when you've assembled more than one? Yes, it definitely helps. By iteration number 3, things get really simple and quick. Like I started this A10 last Sunday.
No, I was working Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah, remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so I started this A10 a week ago and it should be done by maybe tomorrow, end of day tomorrow, I think. So that definitely helps when you've done it a few times. So yes, Stacy, your A10 is going to be Mac Daddy after we get it all painted. Do I have any now? Let me check. Hold that thought. Ward, you manage the comments. I'm going to walk back here and see.
Okay.
I don't know if I have any, but I will check. Where's my compressor bin, Ward?
Is the compressor going in the XL F14?
What?
Is the compressor going into the F14?
Oh, heck yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've got one for that guy, one for Stacy, one for that guy. Brian, to answer your question, I think I have one in stock. So shoot me an email and I can get you set up with that. I just got to count them out here. So we have F14 XL, A10, F16, and then we've got one more there. So yeah, I think I have one extra in stock right now. So
yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, people.
Oh yeah, if you guys are watching this and you're not subscribed, subscribe. We're like at 970 subscribers. When we hit 1,000, we get to monetize the channel. So yeah, so if you like you're watching this and you're not subscribed, hit subscribe, please. That would be awesome. Does that do the brakes as well as the retracts? Yes. So when we put a system in an aircraft, you're using 1 or 2 air tanks. 1 is totally fine. 2 is okay. 3 starts to get too much. So like 2 air tanks, 1 system for everything. So there's no breakouts of systems. What we do is have 1 fill valve. Beginning of the day, fill up your system to 100 PSI with your normal compressor. And then for the rest of your day at the field, the onboard compressor takes care of everything. We just tee everything in for that compressor. So I'll give you an example of how the air system is going to work on the A10 or the entire battery system. My batteries I put back already. Okay, so the power system on this A10, we're going to have 4 3-cell LiPo batteries. So 4 3-cell LiPo batteries. 2 of those batteries go to the central box, 310 power system. We'll talk more about that in a second. 2 of those batteries power the turbines. 1 of those turbine batteries is going to be teed off to power the compressor. The other turbine battery is going to be teed off to power the lighting system. Those 2 receiver batteries when they go into a central box, we're using a 320 in this case. The voltage is programmable. So we've got 12 volts, we'll call it, just to keep life simple. We've got 12 volts coming into this thing, and it's stepping down the voltage to, let's say, we can run everything at 8.4, and then it's consistent at 8.4 all the time. Never changes, right? So that's why we're doing things that way. And it's a really simple setup. There's no reason to have two batteries for your receiver setup, 2 batteries for your turbine setup, a battery for your compressor, a battery for your lighting system. To have 6 batteries on board your aircraft is bonkers. I think it's a silly way to do things.
The compressor system doesn't really take a lot of battery power.
No, it doesn't. It hardly uses any battery power. It's going to run for, when you...
Switch it around?
Yeah. When you turn on your plane and you're getting ready to fly and your air system's pumped up, it might run for like 10 seconds to top up the air system, and then it's going to turn off. You take off, you put your gear up, it runs for 10 seconds, turns off, that's it. So it's really not running hardly at all. Will compressor go in the F14 XL? Yes, every big aircraft. Brian, your Spectrum. So yeah, we just pre-program the compressor for you to whatever you want it to be, and then all you have to do is plug it into a port, and it'll run automatically. It's all pre-programmed for you. So, pretty sure David, the jet guy, has one on his Tomcat. Yes, we put one in the smaller F14 as well. Hit the like button. Only 10 likes. Yes. Thanks, Donald. Nice to see you as well. Perfect. So we're caught up on comments. That's awesome. Whew, it's a lot of work.
What brand of compressor?
V-Speak. That's pretty much what we use on everything now. So.
How many different types are there?
What?
How many different types are there?
Is that your question?
Yeah, that's my question.
Oh. Yeah, V-Speak. So there's the V-Speak compressor. Maybe it'll focus, maybe it won't. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, V-Speak compressor. I don't know if there's any. I think there is some other ones. I don't know of them though. Don't have any experience with them.
So you can't say what's good or what's bad or whatever.
We use the V-Speak one. It works awesome. It's programmable, totally functional with any radio system. So it's simple basically. Robart makes one. Yes.
Oh, they're just gonna have to send something before we can do a test on them.
Cool cat. Nice to see you. You here to see Nez? Oh, Nezzy's sleeping.
Wake up, Nez.
We won't wake her up though. Oh, Ward. You're waking up the bear. You want to give a close-up of Nez? Here you go.
Smile, Nez.
Nezzy Poo. Are you sleeping? Yeah, we're bugging you. Oh, I know. I'll leave you alone. There's Nez's favorite spot. Alrighty. Look at all these comments. I love it. I can't believe there's 86 people on here. That is so nuts.
Where is the XO engine on your Rebel?
What? Where are you seeing this stuff?
Russell asked, where's the engine for the Rebel?
Well, there we go. I'm just catching up.
Okay.
Perfect, Brian. Yes, email me, please. The lighter side of RC at gmail.com. Have to do that in my head. Oh, you guys are looking a little foggy. Let me wipe you off here. I don't know if that's any better. Ragtime. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Thank you, Stacy. Your sister-in-law subscribed. Do I have many customers that fly with FR Sky systems? Customers that I build for, no. There's some guys around me that fly with FR Sky, and it's becoming more popular. But none of my customers fly with FR Sky stuff. What size vent line are you running in the Ranger? So the Ranger is using a 6 mil vent system is what's in there. So if I was doing another Ranger build, the UAT in the Ranger would be like the standard flow Model Aviation Products UAT. which uses basically 6mm Festo line. And that would be the vent going to the DreamWorks vent fitting is also 6mm. So that's their normal flow size. With the 120 size engine that we use in the Rangers, you're kind of 4 may work, but probably not. So that's why 6 is really the better choice. So, where's Flipper? Flipper was out here earlier today. Believe it or not, she was. The only reason she was out here earlier today is because she was screaming inside the house. So it was driving me bonkers. Where is the Zykoy engine for your Rebel? I don't know. It'll be here soon. When it shows up, we'll get the Rebel done. Stacy, you saw Flipper earlier. She's inside now. Don't poke the bear. Yeah, Ward poked the bear. Now Nez is up. He didn't check for parts underneath her.
No parts
She's been stealing parts all like the past couple weeks. It's nuts. What turbines are you running in the A10? We are using Swewin I was going to just about to say 240s. Hi, Nezzy. Hi, buddy. Hi. There you go. We're using Swewin 140s in the A10. Perfect size engine for that plane. Works really well, and I'll show you guys them in a second here. Flip you around. I think, oh, I got to undo our pins. So while we're here, I'll show you how the A10 comes apart. So you pull the pin out. This undoes your hatch. And there's our Swewin 140s. That looks awesome. So we haven't hooked up the plumbing yet, but the plumbing's all run. And yeah, there we go. So yeah, it's a good size engine for this aircraft. I know the other one we did in the Black Snakes for David, we put Swewin or Zykoy 180s in that one, which was nuts. It's a lot of power, way too much power for the A10, but it's fun. But oh, Anton's on, super cool. Thanks, Anton. But yeah, that's what the 140s look like in there. It's also a good balance, right, for weight, because these engines are so far behind the CG point. So the CG point, let's say, is on the wing tube. You know, you've got to balance that out, right? You're 2 feet back from the CG mark. So the bigger engine you go back here, the more weight you need to add in the nose. Yeah, I know the A10 is, well, once the tail's off like it is, it actually looks pretty small. But when you look at this compared to that, oh my gosh, crazy. Crazy. Well, now I got Nez hairs on my face. It's the problem with you, Nezzy. That's the problem with you. Your little hairs. Perfect, Brian. Thank you. I'll probably check out your email tomorrow morning and get in touch with you on that. So, Dave said, since I've watched almost every build, I think the answer is no. But have you worked with Jetty Assist in setup or flight? I have not. I have this much experience with Jetty Assist receivers. A10 XXL coming soon. Is it? Anton, is it actually coming? Because you know where number 1 needs to come. I know you usually send number 1 to Henry in Florida, but I think number 1 should come here first. Just a suggestion. If you guys make an A10 XL, we're definitely on board for that, for sure. That is super cool. The 140 is powerful too. Yeah, it's totally powerful for that. For this aircraft, 140s, beautiful. Even at our elevation, even at our elevation of 3,300 feet, the 140s are awesome. Perfect engines for that aircraft.
Someone's looking for a couple of turbine engines. Email you, right?
That was Joe looking for a 170 or 190 they want to part with. Lionel, you got your trusty. Thank you. And people think I'm crazy, but this is easily the most useful tool in my toolbox. I use this multiple times a day this thing gets used. It is awesome. Holy crap, 3.8 meter wingspan. Ward's got his own trusty as well. There we go. He got lucky number 13. I made sure I set that one aside for him. That is cool. It's 3.8 meter wingspan, A10.
Oh, wow.
You can sign us up for one of those, that's for sure. That is super cool. Thank you. That's exciting. Very, very cool. Let me just put you guys back over here.
That's huge.
That is big.
But will the guns work?
There we go. That's 13 feet. Oh my gosh. Hey Chad, are you going to cancel that F22 order and put your name down for an A10? Let's see. I'm running X95s in the smaller Skymaster A10, waiting. That's perfect. That'll be good. A ton of power in the smaller one for sure. That is cool. Super cool. Wow, 13 feet. Definitely not a park flyer. I think we should get treated to the Rebel
Stacey's
unboxing for watching live. You can make the gun work, but you'll be breaking several laws. All the molds are finished. Wow. That is cool. Maiden this year. Super cool. Very nice. Now we're caught up there.
And we're on a 70-inch TV.
We were the Black Snake A10 that I painted. The previous owner, we were actually working on a spinning gun, not working, but like on something that fires, but it basically spun, had smoke coming out the end. You could hook it up to your radio, Bluetooth speaker type thing, making noise. So we were looking forward to that, but it didn't work out. So, and it only didn't work out because the plane got sold. So anyways, that's super cool. That's great news on the A10 XL. I'm excited for that.
Yes, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Yeah, that is awesome. So like I said earlier, the Skymaster gear is definitely number one. Hard to beat. Like once you've done Skymaster gear or flown a Skymaster plane, and even their smaller ones are all air oil struts, which is super cool. So yeah, totally. Joe, you'll have to upscale it for sure, because I think the big one would definitely deserve a spinning activating gun. So you can probably start working on that now, because I know it'll end up on ours for sure. Yeah, I have a 2.3 meter sports jet as my first turbine with the option to add thrust vectoring in the future. Starting, would you recommend a 140 or switching to a 190 later, or start with a 190? So 2.3 meters, 140 should be plenty of power for that. Depends on the plane though, right? Like, so if your plane's weighing in at about 25, 27 pounds dry, then the 140 is going to be good. If you're heavier, like in the mid 30s, I would go with a 170, 190 kind of thing. So Audra said, what are your thoughts on the BDX? I love the BDX. The BDX, when I saw that 2 years ago at Kentucky Jets, I fell in love with that thing and I thought it was amazing. So the BDX is, I would love to own a BDX. It looks awesome. So Stacy said, did David order one already? I'm assuming you're talking about the XL A10. No, because it hasn't been put up for order yet. So 2 10s is enough, yeah. Yeah, it's we would end up with 2 40s in it because that's what we do, but yeah, the 2 10s should be plenty. Whew.
No 400s?
Well, we wanted to do 300s in the 14, but it's too heavy.
400s.
No. 300s would be cool in that plane right there, so definitely would be cool. What else? Anything else you guys want to see on the F14 while we're here? I think the F14 video comes out Wednesday. Or no, Wednesday is the F16 unboxing video. Saturday is the F14 unboxing video. So, yeah. What other comments do we got going on here? BDX, yeah, it's definitely a floaty plane. It's like a typical sports plane, so.
Since you're talking about landing gears, what about electric? What do you think of them?
Well, electric's awesome, but doing something like this in electric is fairly tough.
The Skymaster Supply electric.
No, all air.
All air, there you go.
You want a sneak peek at the Rebel Hot? There it is. Sexy brown tan.
Look at this thing.
Ooh, it's a little bit of a flying brick, but if you put a big enough engine in,
she'll fly.
There she is. Oh, a wing for the F14. Good call, Chad. I'm going to give this to you, Ward, if you don't mind manning the camera and just giving me the comments as they pop up. Just pipe in as they pop up.
Yep. The SU-30 looks tiny against the...
Yeah, totally does. Yeah, I mean, the SU is a big plane. It really is. But like the SU...
Van Award, thanks a lot.
I mean, the SU is further this way than the F14 is on this racking. But like the SU is coming to about here, right? The Stinger's not on yet, but it's crazy. Okay, so let's pull out one of these wings. You guys got to see this. So nice.
I got to ask, how do you do multitask on these planes?
How do you do what?
Let's bring it up here.
How do you multitask all those projects? Oh gosh. That's definitely a little bit of a struggle. It doesn't stress me out. I love it. I think it's so cool. I just basically focus in on one thing. I like to have all the parts together when we do a build. So even me doing the SU is a little bit frustrating because we didn't have the engines to plan around. But we were able to get pretty much everything done without the engines. So it can be a little bit frustrating for me, but I don't let it bother me. Don't let it stress me out, that's for sure. And with the amount of projects we have in the queue, it's pretty nuts. So here is the F14 wing. Oh. I'd really like to try out the BDX. You need to build one, probably. Yeah, the BDX would be quick, I think. I think it's probably a 3 or 4 day build, so it'd be quick. We have one coming. So we have a BDX coming, as well as Elite Aerosports Razor as well. So here's the wing. This is the underside. Let me just flip this over. We'll take a look at the top side first. The wings they're huge. I mean, here's a shot of the wing. So
that wing is 5 feet long.
I'll measure it. So we'll go tip to the root of the wing, so not the little bump out part that sticks in. Just camera word. It's not I got it. Just camera. So the wing itself is 4.5 feet, 4 feet 6 inches. The longest point is 5 feet, exactly. That's to the little bump out.
Nez is checking it out to make sure that it passes the inspection. Everything here passes Nez's inspection.
When you think about this wing, like the F14 here, you got the wings on here. When they're extended, basically you have 4.5 feet, 4.5 feet. The widest span here is, I think, 54 inches on the body. So you've got a crazy amount of width. So we've got, it's kind of a cool setup on this wing. So it's very similar to the smaller one we did. But basically you've got slats here. I'll pull the tape off. Hi, Nezzy. So our slats here.
Yes, 12 feet total wingspan.
So the slats are operated with one servo. So there's if you want to come over here. So there's a carbon rod that goes all the way through, and there's a bell crank right there. So one servo hooks up to the bell crank and operates the slats. So that is the wing or the slat. So when this wing's operating, this is only your flap. Doesn't work like a flaperon. This works like your aileron, also working in conjunction with your tail. So when you do, this is the right wing. So when you do right aileron, these come up and your tails deflect. I guess it would be like that if you're looking from the back of the aircraft. So super cool. Leading edge, I'll flip this wing around. So the leading edge on this thing, just awesome. So the normal Skymaster setup.
89 now.
Crazy. I can't believe there's 89 people on the live. Thanks guys for hopping on. That's super cool. So nuts. There we go. So the leading edge here. So this is going to be, anyways, that's how it operates there. We'll flip it over and look in the servo side. And then we've got our flap. Now the flap operates, I think, with the normal Skymaster bent rod. So it's exactly the same setup as their smaller F14. So the rod comes out, goes inside the flap, and when that rod turns, that makes the flap go down. So awesome setup, rock solid. And we'll flip this around. And then our...
Does the F14 have a leading edge root extension? Or lurks?
There we go. So this leading edge is going to have 2 servos. I'm assuming we have to put our own control arms in here. So a carbon mount is going to go here, a carbon mount is going to go there, and when this operates, the servo is going to turn. So there'll be an actual linkage that connects the leading edge into the wing. So the typical Skymaster setup that we've seen on other aircraft wouldn't work on something this big.
So that activate it when gear comes down then? Nick, add that.
So your leading edge is going to be operational when your flaps come down. And this is where the F14 gets really complicated. So when the wings are out, everything is operational. So the wings are out, extended, you're in takeoff mode, your flaps are going to work normal, your leading edge is going to work normal, your slats are going to work normal as an aileron surface. As soon as you sweep the wings back, all of that has to turn off. So this turns off, that turns off, and everything becomes non-functional. Just your aileron surfaces and your rudders become functional. So that's part of the programming, is you need to have so many flight modes for this to work properly. So
we're at 92.
What?
92.
92! Oh, Inez is back there searching for parts. Oh no, she's hiding in the box. She has this infatuation with my my packing box over there. That's where I keep all my packing materials for orders. She likes to crawl in there now, and I don't know what she does back there, but she's occupying her time, so we'll just leave her alone. Yeah, maybe she's taking a poop in my packing materials. So yeah, that's the wings. There's lights on the wings already. Skymaster did a beautiful job putting these lenses on. Very nicely fit, so those lights are already mounted on the aircraft, which is cool. Here's our flaperon or flap rod. So if we pull this out, the flap will come off. So yeah, super cool.
Beautiful detail.
Looking forward to this. Yeah, it really is. The detail is awesome. Just awesome. The weathering on this is amazing. The raised the rivets are cool. This is all raised here, so obviously it's hard to show in the camera, but it feels like Braille, right? Like it's all raised up, which is really nice. Yeah, just the finish on this is beautiful. It's going to be a great plane. It's going to be a real floater for sure. I mean, something with this wingspan and size, only weighing under 100 pounds, is going to be amazing.
They seem to do a lot more detail to get bigger. You just see it. It
just
jumps out at you.
Yeah, for sure. So.
And it does look real, yeah.
Yeah. Wait till you guys see the unboxing video. It is mental. Yeah, Nez hair's free of charge. If you order stuff, highly likely you'll get some Nez fuzz in there. And if you want me to send you a fur ball, I can, because there's usually fur balls all over the floor.
For $29.99.
Yeah. Yeah, the F14 is crazy scale. It does look very real. So when you get to something this size, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's just something you like to look at, and you just even set it up at the field and just let's sit there.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I think it's easier to put all the more detail in it when it's larger, right? You're not dealing with such small details on the thing. So.
Well, you almost have to, because if you don't, it makes it look cheap.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So the bigger it is, you have to put the detail in it, because if you don't, it looks cheap.
Yeah.
Then who would buy it, right?
Oh, there she is. Nazi Poo, you're trying to get up there, aren't you? I know, you don't need to go up there. No Nazis on the mezzanine. No Nazis on the mezzanine.
Questions, guys?
Yeah, if you guys have any other questions, ask away. This
we got 100.
Crazy.
You're at 100.
This session was really, I know normally during these live sessions we try and get some work done, but it was really I was so excited to show you guys all the new planes we have in the shop. The planes we have coming is crazy too. So.
Lost 3. They just must be just pop-ins and pop-out.
Yeah. My shop kitty brings up parts from the basement every night. Yep. Unbox the Rebel hot. Oh, freak. All right. We may not pull it out of the box, but let's unbox the Rebel hot.
Oh, you're soft.
I know.
Softy.
I'm a suck. Okay, so this kit did not come from Carf. The owner of this kit is Lewis. He had this in his possession and basically put it in the original box and shipped it here, just for reference. And then when we're done, we'll probably put it back in the same box and ship it back.
Let me see here. Somebody asked if ever thought of about trying to work out functional formation lights on any of your military jets.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of like the getting into too much of the scale details. I think there's a point where you can get too far advanced. Like if you're competing in Top Gun, Jet World Masters, whatever you want to call it, basically that stuff, super cool. For an average flyer, like a daily flyer, I think it gets to the point where you start adding too much complexity and too many scale details, you know, having like the cockpit lights light up. I think it's kind of cool, but to me, it's just one of those kind of silly things that is just too much.
It makes it more of a display than a flyer. Yeah, I mean, that may irk people the wrong way a little bit, but that's just my opinion. I just think it's too much. If a customer wanted it, we would do it, but I don't enjoy doing that stuff just for fun. So, you know, obviously our hobby is ever changing, but my goal when I put a plane together is ultimately the goal that I have is I want to deliver an aircraft that somebody can fly and put hundreds of flights on and not have to do anything.
Just do general little things. You know, maybe they change I don't know, change tires or something because it's a wear item. But I think back to my Tudor here, this plane. So still flying today. I no longer own it. I sold it to my friend Cecil. I bought it off my friend Andrew, and this plane was put together perfectly. It was put together so well. Andrew put about 300 flights on this plane. I probably put about 300-ish. Didn't keep track. And I don't know how many Cecil's put on, but the plane probably has, I'll just go out on a limb and say 700 to 800 flights on the plane, and it is still perfect. When I got it, I went through it and changed a little bit of the wiring and how things were organized. We've put a new receiver system in it multiple times as it's changed from JR to Jetty to now Spectrum with the new owner, but it is awesome. And that's kind of my philosophy when I build a plane. I don't want something that is a maintenance hog. I want something for a customer that is just fuel and fly every day, and that's it. Obviously, if you crash something or have a bad landing, that changes things.
Was that a Tudor or a Carf?
That's a Carf Tudor, yes.
Somebody asked that.
So that's my theory when I build something, and that's my goal. That's why things get shoe goop into connectors. I don't want things to come loose. I want things to be serviceable. So if you need to get into a servo and you pull the servo cover off, I don't want you to have to dig into a wire and start changing wiring. I want the plug to be right there. You pull your servo out, you change your servo, you're done. That's my philosophy when I put together a plane. I want it to be serviceable, and I want you to never have to do service on the plane other than normal maintenance stuff.
Brian Coy wants to know about a Tudor cockpit. I'll say email you to get...
Yeah, you can. If you guys have any questions, shoot me an email. If you have questions for the live as well, like we talked about at the very beginning of the live, send me an email. If you don't want an answer right away, just say, you know, this is a question for the live, and I'll print them off and post them on the board. And every time we do a live stream from the shop, I'll just go over those questions at the very beginning. It's kind of cool to have a list of questions put together. There we go. So I'm going to pop all this stuff in here.
Oh, my dog is crazy right now.
Huh?
My dog would be crazy. She loves those bags.
I don't think we'll... Oh, that's a cool scheme. Maybe we will get it out of the package. I want to see it now too. Rebel Hot. It's just a little guy.
It's a little toy.
That's cool. So there's a bunch of cool options and upgrades in here. This is nice. I don't want to go too far with it because I want to make sure we can put it back in the box. But
wow,
here's the scheme on it. So very nice. That is going to be very bright in the sky. Cool size plane too. That is nice. Nice size plane.
24-inch wing?
Yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, 24 inches. I did that because my hand is 8 inches. So 8, 16, 24. It's just like the larger Rebel, just smaller. But the paint is nice. That is really cool. So that's the scheme on the Rebel. This is the, it's not the Infinity scheme. It might be the launch scheme, I think. But this is the one that is on the larger Rebel, but he ordered it custom for the smaller Rebel. So very cool. And the fuselage is all that orange color. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Have you seen Skywing Jet teaser pics yet?
No. I don't even know what that is. So we've got, I know there's a single wall tank in here, or sorry, pipe. We've got a tank from CM Jets. That's coming in here. And then some other parts and stuff. So
Stacy says he wants that plane. Sorry, Stacy.
It's nice. That's a nice color scheme. It's nice because it's not a common color scheme. So, yeah, and this plane here, we've got a Zykoi X60 for it. That's coming that we ordered through the shop here. And so that's coming for it. That'll be the power plant in there. It's going to be set up all on jetty as well. The goal with that plane is light. So that is that's the ultimate goal for that thing. So,
yeah, both the cockpit for there should talk to Joe, or else get a hold of you and you'll pass it on to Joe. Get a hold of John and he'll pass you on to Joe.
Exactly. As Keith is saying right now, talk to Joe. Joe is rccustom3dprinting.com, and Joe is awesome. So, do I still have my Huracan? I do not. The Huracan had a sad demise.
Boom.
Split in half. It was a heavy plane, so I mean, I'm sad, but whatever, happens. I mean, I liked it. I enjoyed flying it. I love the lighting kit on it. I like the Kinetics way more. I mean, the Kinetics is 20 pounds lighter than the Huracan, and it's a little bit smaller. Way more fun, so. Russell said, what's the dry weight estimate for what? For the F14? The F14 XL is going to be basically 100 pounds, like 99.6 pounds kind of thing. So, yeah, that's maybe we'll be able to do it lighter. I don't know, but Huracan had presence. Yeah, it did, especially with the light kit.
It was nice. It was really nice, but things that go up do come down.
They do. Yep.
It's not necessarily in the way you want.
When they're heavy and they come down and they stall, yeah, it happens. And they split right in half. I mean, our Super Elan has presence too, because it's such a huge plane. I mean, obviously it's a twin boom plane. People don't like it, but the wings in there are awesome. Yeah, the F14, Russell, yeah, it's supposed to be just under 100 pounds is the goal. So we're going to do things a little bit different on the F14. So we are trying to build it as light as possible. Obviously, there's only certain things you can do, but we have control over all of those things that we are installing. So we're doing things like we're putting 2 Jetty 210s in here right side by side. The reason we're using 2 Jetty 210s is because they're lighter than a 400 series. So that's why we're using the 210s. And we'll have plenty of outputs with those 2 210s. So, hey Kelly, thanks for joining. Michael said, how does the Zykoy compare to Swewin? Both good options. I mean, I guess let's talk about that. So, here, I'll save your arm a little bit.
No, that's fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. So here's some positives about Swewins. I like both types of engines. They're awesome. Swewins, you can get them. So if you're ordering a Swewin from me and we don't have it in stock, I can have one here at the shop to be test run and set up in 7 to 10 days. It takes a couple days to get to you. They're easy to get. The Swewins, they're a little bit of a different philosophy with the engines. So they're running a lower RPM. Generally, the intake surface area is larger. And I like the lower RPM of the Swewin engines. The entire lineup is lower than all their competitors' engines. That's one of the things I love about the Swewin lineup. They're also more affordable than most other engines as well. The Zykoys, I love them. We're putting one in my Rebel, cool engines. Some of the things I don't like about the Zykoys is they take forever to get. So right now, if you order a Zykoy engine, you're waiting 3 months to get it. If you order a 240 right now, today, you're probably going to get it in March, maybe April. If you order a 240 from Swewin and I don't have it in stock, I can have you one in 2 weeks. So that's my biggest issue with Zykoy is getting the engines is a real struggle. They run really nice. I don't really like how the RPMs are jacked way up for a small little engine. So that's kind of that philosophy that a lot of manufacturers are going into is take this smaller engine and just crank up the RPMs. Well, when you're having the compressor or your turbine wheel spin at another 20,000 RPM faster, that's a lot of force on those little parts.
Fail time is easier.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. So those are the different sides. If I didn't fly Swiwin, I would fly Zykoi. Zykoi is also, in the past, has generally missed a few engine sizes. They've been working on it. Now we're going to have 240s from Zykoi. They're working on bigger engines as well too. So they're really, I mean, it's a great engine. The other downside to them is they're expensive. You know, you look at like a Zykoi 60 compared to a Swiwin 60, and you're talking about hundreds of dollars difference in the engines. A little bit of a size difference, but huge difference in price. So that's the long answer for you.
And Kelly said that the plane won't fit in his pits.
It sure won't, man. It's crazy how big this thing is.
He's going to have to expand their pits.
Somebody's here.
Yeah.
Any more comments? I saw a whole bunch flipping up there.
Yeah, I just got to
Or questions?
A lot of an F14 and the SU weight. Wiring weight pretty high on the F14.
Yeah. That's actually a really good question. So Stacy, you said what model is the Rebel that I just opened? The Rebel Hot, H-O-T. So it's the smallest Rebel they make. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Russell. So it's that poofy purple you're paying for. That's funny.
That's somebody from Australia or UK.
So if we look at, so this actually is a really good comparison. So this is a spool of wire, maxi wire. This is 50 meters plus 90 feet. So this would be about 250 feet, we'll just call it, just to keep it simple, okay? On the SU-30 that we finished, we're not done yet, but so far I've put 250 feet of wire on that aircraft. We need another probably 10 feet of wire, so we'll just say we use 250 feet on that aircraft. We'll weigh this. And I'll tell you guys how much weight that is.
Katie's car broke down, battery died, but somebody's coming out to pick her up. She texted you about it.
Okay, so where's my scale?
I'll show you the T-33 in a short, Kelly. He just joined. He wants to see the T-33.
I'm just going to weigh this spool because this is a spool. It's probably, I don't know, similar weight to that guy. So we'll zero this out with our spool. Actually, we'll just weigh this like this. So this 250 feet of wire is 1,212 grams divided by 454. So you're talking 2.5 pounds of wire just there, right? So you can save a lot by minimizing wire. You know, if you put on this plane as an example, you put your control system in the front and you're adding 5 feet times however many servos you have, you could be easily adding a couple 100 feet of wire or 100 feet of wire to the front of the aircraft, which would be a lot of weight. So anyways, kind of a neat comparison. I've never weighed 250 feet of wire, and that's what it weighs.
And Kelly, since you just joined us, this is the T-33.
Yeah, that's the T-33. Beautiful.
And of course the cockpit, which has been raving about. I don't know if you've seen it before, but it's just fantastic.
Kelly's seen pictures. I'll pull the hatch off here.
Power wire at 12 gauge is heavy.
Yes, which is what we put in the SU. So here's the cockpit tub. Everything Joe did on this is all custom. So the tub and the wood frame is the only things that are stock. Everything else Joe made.
He says, wow.
Yeah. And we've painted in there. It looks really good.
You're going to have to learn to sign in sooner, Kelly. This excuse of work or something like that. Nope, not going to work.
So yeah, super happy with that. All right, guys, if you have any questions, now is the time. We're almost done. She's a curvy girl, that T33.
I think she's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's going to look so good when it's done.
I would like to get one when I become a big boy, but I want to paint it in a certain color.
It is beautiful. It's going to be stunning, especially the scheme we have planned for it. So.
Well, somebody asked what livery are you going with in the T33?
Oh, T33. So we're doing, I'll show you guys. I just got to pull it up in our chat here, our group chat. It is a really nice scheme. Enter your pin to sync your, what? That's weird.
He said that'd be such a classic.
So.
Nick Furniture says Red Knight scheme? No.
No, I decided against the Red Knight scheme, and for a couple of reasons. I didn't really like all the red on it. That may sound cheesy, but part of the reason too is I've already got the decal package, for this scheme right here. So this is basically the scheme that we're doing. And this is actually pictures of one of Bob Violet's planes. So we've done the doors inside green already. We'll do that top portion in green. The red accents, it's going to be done just like this. So red accents all around, black on the tip tanks like that. So it's basically going to look exactly like this. The numbers may be a little bit different, but same kind of layout. So yeah, that's the scheme we're doing. It'll be I think a flat finish is the plan. Maybe gloss. I don't know. That looks good. I think that's gloss. I don't know. That we'll see. But we're going to do things like different color panels there as well. That's the plan. Flap kit will be painted green as well. That may not show up great on
it's
camera.
It's showing pretty good.
So yeah, that's a gloss finish, but we'll see. I kind of like matte finishes on my scale planes.
The LE color scheme should be a hoot to do.
Yeah, that'll look really good. So.
Russell says the scheme is sharp.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that's the plan with it. I don't know at this point right now if I'm going to keep it or if we'll sell it, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
Put it on silent auction. People bid for it.
Silent auction. Thanks, Kelly.
Still got that F14 upstairs.
Yeah. Maybe semi-gloss, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it works out. I mean, the gloss would probably be the most durable. I wanted to do a little bit of weathering on it. I was planning on doing the rivets, so I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Need to chat before you do the ribs and the flaps. Yeah, the T33 is a little bit on the back burner right now. Sorry, I'm looking at there, but I'm looking at the TV because I'm reading the comments. Yeah, the T33, so when all these new projects come in, the T33 kind of goes on the back burner, and now we're focused on everything else. So that'll, as time pops up, we'll continue working on that. So
red fades over time, the guy said.
Yeah.
Nick said.
Yeah. Flight metal, I know. Flight metal would be good. I just don't like how not durable it is. That's a problem. I've also never done flight metal on a big scale like that, so I don't really know if I'm excited for that or not. But
what is flight metal?
Flight metal is kind of like, if you think about it, this is going to be a very simplified version, but it's almost like taking this tape, so aluminum duct tape,
okay,
and doing panels on the aircraft.
Oh, okay.
So it's tough to do because it's sticky, but once it's on, like the cool thing is you can take it and you can sand it for different directions and stuff. The downside is like you could take your nail and just dig into it.
Okay, so but it makes it look like more real.
Yeah, because it looks like it's an aluminum panel system, right?
Friends don't let friends do flight metal.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kelly.
Good answer. I like that.
That's the way to go, Kelly.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I mean, this may not show up amazing, but like I did the intake diverters, just the back portion here behind it, before I installed them. But the chrome, so the painted chrome, is kind of what I'm planning on doing, and then doing some weathering, so some scratching on it, some burnishing, and then other panels like this guy right here might get painted with a standard aluminum color, just so it looks different than the chrome paint. So yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, that looks good.
I think so. All right, guys. Well, if you have any other questions, really love the gloss. Yeah. Paint and polish it. No polish either. Scale planes aren't supposed to be glossy. Thanks, guys. All right, so I think we're going to cut it off. That was a fun live.
Oh yeah, we went up to 100 people.
That is so crazy. Some cool things to check out. Number one, if you're watching this live and you're not a subscriber.
David says try metal.
Oh, Vallejo metallized? Yeah. I will try that for sure, because that's what the green is that I used on the inside of the doors. So I'll do that.
Donald asked about the 3D printer. Ask the question again, Donald.
Oh yeah, ask again, Donald, while I'm looking at the TV here about the 3D stuff. I don't know if there's a question on it. So
yeah, I was way back when, but you're
shaky, Ward. Keep the camera still. You're making me sick watching me on the TV. Please. If you need to put it on the stand, put it on the table. There you go. You're making me ill watching this. Have I ever done the Thunderbird scheme? No, I haven't. Good clear coat over decals. 2K clear. Oh, Donald's question about the 3D printers. If I was to buy one 3D printer, I would buy the Bamboo Labs, any of their printers, but I have the X1 Carbon. The reason I would buy the X1 Carbon again, or buy the X1 Carbon, is it just works. So I'm not a hobbyist with 3D printers. I don't enjoy messing around with 3D printers and mucking with them and trying to make them work and adjusting them and all that. That's not my hobby. My hobby is building planes. So the reason I would suggest the Bamboo Labs is almost everything I plug in there, it just prints and just works. That's the reason I would use it. I like my Cheaty printer, but sometimes it's a bit of a pain to use. You got to kind of know what you're doing. You got to play around with it. So if I'm doing a big technical print, that's what I use the Cheaty for, but Bamboo pretty much works for everything all the time. So yes, those carbon arms are awesome for sure. So hopefully that answers your question, Donald. Yeah, it's just such a beautiful printer to use. So we do have links like affiliate links, but anyways, order it from wherever. So okay, a couple things I was going to tell you guys. Number one, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to the Lighter Side of RC After Dark, please subscribe. We, Stacy, you have to look at the regular Rebels to find that scheme. Like the Rebel Classic or the Rebel Pro, I think, has it. Yeah, so we're almost at 1,000 subscribers on this channel, so that's cool. Also check out our, what is it called? Podcast channel, which is the RC Air Experience. I think we've got 5 or 6 podcasts up on that one. If you're a podcast fan or just want to learn more about people in the RC industry, that's what we've been doing. We had Jenny and Greg Alderman on there from Heli Direct, basically, and all the other companies that they have fingers in, like Boomerang. We had Chris from Cavu Customs on there. He does like custom stuff on jets and aircraft. Beautiful work, so check that out. Had a few other guys on there as well, and it's just been a ton of fun. So that's it. I think that's all I was going to mention. Joe, looking forward to the new pump. Ready for production. That's cool. New fuel pump. I'm excited. Aluminum. No Black Knight scheme. I've decided against it already. So that's everything, guys. Thanks for tuning into the live chat. Thanks for checking out the F14 XL. Unboxing for the F16 coming Wednesday, F14 coming next Saturday, week from today, and so many fun projects coming in the next few months. We are so busy at the shop. It is awesome. Thank you to everybody that is a channel member. If you're a member, you get to see all of our videos early. That's another plug as well too. If you want to check out channel membership on the regular channel, it exists. The benefit is you get to see videos a week or two before they actually drop live on the channel. Thank you to all of you guys that watch the videos, and to all my customers who get me to build planes for them. Thank you as well. Appreciate it very much. And that's it, guys. We'll see you 2 weeks from now at the next live.
Good night. What do I have to hit here? You want to stop screaming?